Regal Movie Masters. Unlimited.
This is the Regal Movie Masters Unlimited podcast where we indiscriminately watch every goddamn movie that comes out at the local theater. Your movie masters today are Justine.
Hi.
Brent.
Hello.
Dylan.
What's up?
Today's going to be a bit of a short episode. There was one movie that came out this week. It was Transformers. I don't know why no one else was going against Transformers. Like it makes it feel, it seems that way. Yeah. But then you look at every other week, and there's usually a big blockbuster, and there's 2 or 3 little films. Not this time.
Well, listen, you're missing a big chunk of the title. Rise of the Beasts.
Right. They were afraid
there's
of
a big beast. Yeah, it's a beast of a film. No one wants to fucking fight against that.
I was just about to ask him what it meant to him, but he just broke it down. It's a beast of a film.
Yeah.
Okay. So no one wants to go against the beast. Now that it's been explained to me, it makes sense. So, but we did watch me and Justine at least watched Kandahar. It's a movie from a couple weeks ago. Honestly, just felt bad talking about one movie. So we got that.
It had been on our list. It just, so many other things came out,
Right.
like big movies. But I think that's also why people didn't want to go against Transformers. They were still going against The Little Mermaid and
Fast X,
and
Guardians of the Galaxy,
Mario.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah, that's
their
heavy.
competition was week 2, week 3 of these other movies.
Right. So either way, we just got Transformers this week. Justine, should we address why your voice sounds insane?
I'm sick.
There you go. So there's that too to deal
Sorry.
with. So, yeah.
I know
It's
it's
so
annoying.
crazy.
I hate it too.
Gonna be a brief app, but don't. Well, see, as if you don't acknowledge it, it goes out of control. So we know we're not stupid. We do have an email that you can contact us at. It's moviemasters760@gmail.com. If you email us, we will read your email on quote unquote air and address any questions you have. We default to anonymous, so if you want us to use your name, say it's okay to use your name. Transformers, it's the rise of beasts. It's a movie that's out right now. It's the 18th installment in the Transformers series. You got Optimus Prime, but he's not the main guy. Optimus Primal is in the mix. It's his Beast War stuff. And the story. Oh, you want story. Okay. Unicron is, like, as you might know from the real Transformers movie, possibly the only Transformers movie to some enlightened souls, the one that came out in the 80s, the cartoon. Unicron of that fame is eating up planets, and he's trying to eat up a beast planet. And they take a, what's it called? Time warp key?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Time swamp.
They take Unicron wants
Transwarp?
I think it's a time warp key. That sounds
It's
good.
not time. Transwarp.
Transwarp
Transwarp
key.
key.
Okay. There's this transwarp key. Unicron gets this. Watch out. He's going to go crazy. But the beasts of the titular beasts of the subtitle of this film, they're like, we're going to take this transwarp key. We're going to go to Earth with it, hide it from Unicron and his main bad guy, Scourge, voiced by Peter Dinklage. And I should say the director. Yeah, the director is Stephen Capel. He did Creed 2. So there you go. And then some smaller movies. And it was written by Joby Harold, who did the Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus. And then a team that I have not seen on anything else: Darnell Metayer and Josh Peters. So there are writers. There is a director. They go to Earth with the transwarp key. The beasts, they've been here forever. Transformers, the Autobots are, they've also been on Earth forever. This is a sequel to the Bumblebee movie, which was a prequel to all the Michael Bay movies.
Oh.
You may have noticed you didn't hear Michael Bay's name mentioned in the credits. This is the de-Bayified Transformers we're dealing with.
He did produce it, though.
Yes, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a key. It's on Earth. Some humans get involved, turn the key on. This museum lady and this car thief, not a car thief guy, he's just a guy, but he's stealing a car. The car turns out to be a Decepticon. The lady who was at the museum
Autobot.
triggers the thing. Triggers the trans warp key. This sends up a beacon. Humans can't see it. It's like a dog whistle for robots. And they're like, all right, let's go get this thing. They want to use the key so they could get home, but they also know they can't let Unicron get the key. They want to go to Cybertron is the Transformers thing. But the Unicron can see the key, and he's like, oh, we'll send Scourge, my main dude. So Scourge, sent by Unicron, he comes down, and he takes the key, and they're like, we're in trouble now. And then they're like, well, not really, because the key was split up. Oh, friggin' now the beasts come into play of Rise of the Beast fame. Our Air Razor, voiced by Michelle Yeoh. This is my favorite part of the movie because I'm imagining them holding a gun to her head and making her say the dumbest shit you've ever heard in your life. Because it's like, if it sounds like I'm stumbling over the plot, you can imagine this poor woman. She's just like, Optimus Prime, the Autobots and the humans have been separated for too long, but the Maximals are in Peru, and we have split up the transwarp key, and there's a second transwarp key that Unicron doesn't know about, and Scourge can't get to. So we need to, I'm just imagining this poor woman. Oscar winner.
Fresh off an Oscar.
Just like, the Maximals, yes. I mean, it's not like she's doing a bad job. She's doing the job you do when you're assigned this, but Jesus Christ. So she's like the wise old bird Maximal, and she gets the Autobots to go to Peru, and the humans are involved in it too, because they're like, well, fuck it, I guess if our Earth's going to blow up. The humans, Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback.
No thanks.
They're pairing up, and they're going to Peru, and they're going to help the Autobots and the Maximals get the second part of the transwarp key. But Unicron is not about this. He's got Scourge. They're going to try to break it up. Pete Davidson's in the movie. He plays a robot. When I said that one guy was stealing a car, it was Pete Davidson.
The car was Pete Davidson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mirage. Yeah, eventually they're in Peru, and there's fights and whatnot, and it's a Transformers movie. Most improved. That's what I'm giving this movie the award to. Yeah. I think the de-bayification is a step in the right direction. Uh-huh. Good job. I think as much as I'm kind of goofing on the plot here, like convoluted as it may be, and like info dumpy and lore heavy that it may be,
it wasn't that important.
No.
Yeah.
And more to the point, you understood it.
Yep.
Like 2 keys, need both keys, go home with key, or a bad guy get key, and then we're in trouble.
Yep.
The bad guys were secondary colors like oranges and purples. Mm-hmm. The good guys were blues and yellows and reds. And you could kind of see what was happening and follow along. That sounds like the bare minimum, but if you have seen a Michael Bay Transformers movie, you would fucking slit your relative's throat to get an iota of like sensible understanding of what is happening in those movies, because they just get into such a mess to the point where it's just, I don't know. I find those films to be unenjoyable, even in a turn off your brain popcorn movie kind of way. And this movie was a turn off your brain popcorn movie, but it was like what I want those movies to be, which is like, all right, I'm seeing some robots fight. This is cool. Good times to be had. And I'd say overall, I had a good time at this one.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Like I think I only saw maybe definitely the first, but possibly the second Bay edition. And my concerns with those were just that any action was just extremely zoomed in on.
Right. Quick cuts.
Yeah, quick cuts. Couldn't really tell what was going on. So that really bums me out, because I really like when robots fight and when, creatures fight.
Yeah.
I love that panoramic vision, you know what I mean? That comes from Japan, like for the most part. But we also saw it in Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got your whoever's fighting all in the frame, and the person they're fighting also in the frame, and they're just breaking stuff. And those Bay editions did not have that sort of perspective. So I checked out and didn't even bother with however many have come out since the first one or the first two.
They get surprisingly worse. Like,
Oh, wow, really?
It starts off. I mean, the first one especially, I think, is kind of a time capsule and kind of has some charm.
Yeah.
By the time you get to like the whatever the fourth and fifth ones are, which one's Rise of the Fallen? Anyone? When they start to have titles like Rise of the Fallen, you're like, it is like truly incomprehensible what's
Fall
happening.
of the Risen.
And like you're saying, it's robots fighting people. Like
Yeah.
this should be a good time.
Yeah.
You should pretty much be having nonstop fun at a robot fight
For real.
movie. You guys, any Robot Jocks fans in the audience? Anyone?
You know, I
Anyone?
never saw it. Did you see it?
Robot Jocks?
Robot Jocks? Just me?
I saw it.
What's that?
With me.
Oh, you don't know about
Or no, you grew up watching it, right? Did I just force
Wait
you
a
to watch
minute.
it?
No, I'm talking about the Hugh Jackman movie.
Oh no, that's not Robot Jocks.
Oh, Robo-Dilf.
Yeah, what's Robo-Dilf called? You just called it Robo-Dilf.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Shoot, what was that called? The Hugh Jackman robot fighting movie?
it? You sure it wasn't called Robot Jocks?
No, Robot Jocks was an 80s movie, like a really budget, like...
Yeah. Was it a remake?
No, Hugh Jackman did a 2000s movie where he, like, gets in... There, that's more like human-sized robots fighting and, like...
X-Men.
It's called Real Steel.
It is called Real
That's what it
Steel.
was.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the Rock'em Sock'em looking robot?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That definitely should have been called Robo-Dilf. But Robot Jock's like a crappy 80s movie that I was obsessed with as a kid because it's giant robots fighting each other. You
Yeah.
should be obsessed with that. It's cool as shit.
Yeah.
I didn't get that feel off of any of the Transformers movies up until this point. And this is, at least watchable, fun, palatable, comprehensible. Everything has been improved upon on the last movies. Still don't know if it's like, a great movie or a thrill ride by any means, but it doesn't get in the way of itself. I'll say that much. Like, you get to see some robots fight for sure.
There was like a knee-jerk reaction from a lot of the public, and understandably so, about Pete Davidson being in it. People were like, I'm not going to see it. Pete Davidson's in it. It's going to suck. Pete Davidson was fine for like a Transformers movie. Did you have any beef with him?
I guess that segues into my main beef I have with pretty much all of these movies, which is like a lot of humor and bad humor.
Yeah,
Like,
but I think that kind of works for a robot, because a robot would not be funny.
I don't know. It's, I guess, just a tone of humor that's injected into these movies.
But
It
I think it's
definitely
for,
feels
I
injected.
went to the same perspective as like watching a standard Skywalker trilogy Star Wars movie. It's for kids,
right.
It's about toys.
For sure. And I'm not looking for like dark, gritty Transformers either.
I would not want that.
But I guess it's just like you had this with the Justice League, one of those movies where they're just like, we need to lighten it up. We need it to be more like the Marvel movies. Put some jokes in.
Yeah.
And then you got the like, what is brunch
That's
sequence?
true.
That's what the Transformers movies feel like to me, where they're just like, it needs to be lighter. I know. Put in some jokes. And I don't think humor in action movies is by any means a no-go. Like,
It's almost a tradition, right?
I mean, it just depends on how it's done and like strength of the material.
Did Plane have jokes in it? It's been so long.
No, Plane was
Plane was
very
pretty
straight faced,
Okay,
but that
so
was
yeah.
that was very much so not
Oh,
for
and
kids.
like all most of the Chuck Norris stuff never had jokes in the 80s.
Yeah, but those are like straight action movies. I
Yeah.
guess if you look to like, hey, to go back to Michael Bay, give him his propers.
Okay.
Independence Day. There's like humor in that.
Yeah, there's jokes in that.
And they tend to hit. I guess they do kind of come from like having a Will Smith or whatever in the movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, just good, solid material in that. There's a balance. It's not like a don't put humor in my sci-fi robot movie stance. It's just, if you're just gonna be humor, why not make it funny? And I think the humor in this isn't great. And I don't blame Pete Davidson for that by any means. I'm not a Davidson hater. If you were on Saturday Night Live, you get a pass from me.
Yeah, exactly.
Kinda, So like, I don't have anything against him, but maybe the idea of just putting in a comedic actor gave him more attempts to put some funny lines in, or made him push for that.
But it's also to give the robots, I mean, this is funny saying this, robots personality.
Yeah,
Because all Bumblebee is doing is just dropping samples.
yeah, which is
Optimus Prime is just apologizing for being Optimus Prime.
and the Bumblebee dropping sample thing, that kind of goes to the forced humor in these movies,
Yeah.
where it's like, I don't know.
Remember that thing?
Do you think adults hated Hot Rod?
Which one was Hot Rod?
The kind of like cool guy in the old one, like the cartoon and stuff.
You've got more knowledge on that than me.
Well, what I'm saying is, I mean, he's cool, but is that just the feeling that we had of him at the time? He sort of just seems like an updated version of that. So like it might be irritating to us.
Are you saying Pete Davidson's character is for kids?
Kind of.
Yep.
Okay.
I think so. But he's
All
also
right.
the heartbeat for the movie in a lot of ways, you know? Like in
Yeah.
terms of like the robots at least. It's like the only robot that has like a personality.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? Yeah, they have like, unique designs and stuff. I like the girl robot, the RC. Cool to see her in it. That sold me.
What's up with the scale of her? She's like sometimes she's the size of a human.
Any
other
of
times-
them. They're all crazy.
Okay.
No, she's really big, but hers is gross in this because she has a fake human on top of her.
Yeah.
You didn't notice that when
That's why,
she's in car mode.
In my
Oh.
head, my canon is that that's why she hides in the van, because she can't just be regular because she has that dead body like connected to the bike, and she would just look weird just standing there.
Oh yeah, she's a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my only reason why I'm like, she's hiding in the truck because she can't just stand there like as a car.
Weird. Yeah, I just did not pay. I mean, this is not a. I don't. It should show how little attention this movie demands of you, the viewer. But yeah, I guess she doesn't have a personality in that regard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, the humor element, all the comedic stuff, all the personality stuff. Really, I know it's needed, but I just don't think it was very great. It's technically there.
I've been thinking about it a lot. Like when I talk about kaiju and robots and stuff fighting in American films, I always like long for what's going on in Japan more so. But then I was looking at like some of the human performances in this, and I think about the American phenomenon around the globe, and I go, oh, well, they probably have like the same perspective in other countries that I have. They just want to see Americans be American.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yokel it up.
Yeah, so like while I hated the human aspect of this because it just reminds me of, I don't know, going to the food court or something.
Right.
Like, I guess that'll play big in Asia, or that'll play big, in Europe or the Middle East
Yeah,
or
you
something.
see some New York people being New York people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's fun. Surprised they didn't give them Cowboys. Yankee
Yeah.
Doodle. I'm the Texas guy. I'll wrangle these guys up. Yeehaw. That's from my sequel.
Hey, speaking of scale, Dylan, you wanted to make some observations about the design of these Transformers?
Oh yeah, I have a question for lots of questions actually for the primals. The what's it called? Maximals.
Balls.
The goddamn Maximals.
A gun against Michelle Yeoh's head. It's Maximals.
Maximals. Key swap. Key. Switch.
The Maximals are getting the transwarp key.
You're gonna
say it. Say it.
You now say Optimus Prime, then say Optimus Primal.
You're Air Razor. You should know this.
Say your name is Air Razor right now.
Refer to yourself as Air Razor the Maximal.
Okay, now pretend you're sick.
So I have a question. The Maximals come from another planet in a different universe.
Sure.
Sure, man.
Then how do they take form of animal? If animals were animals
I
existing?
gotta be real, dog. I don't know how the goddamn Autobots take form of cars. I don't
But
I don't
they
understand the
scan
lore
the
of this
cars.
stuff.
In the first one, they make clear that they scan cars.
And
thus
this one,
become-
they were they
they were already animals.
the Maximals were maximized before they came to Earth. So
Yes.
maybe this is a Prometheus situation where like the grand designer of the whole universe is like those are the gorillas and the
They were
Crazy
testing
birds.
him out.
I mean, if you think about it, like,
With animals.
even here on Earth, we got some animals as cars. Like, what's a camel? That's a car.
But my question is, how are they scanning these animals that possibly don't exist in this world that they lived in?
maybe because the Maximals were like beasts before they came to Earth, and the Autobots were not.
Robots.
Yeah, they were not. The car thing is like new to the Autobots, whereas Maximals just chilling.
It's like,
Fair
beginning of
enough.
time shit.
They're
Uh,
Jungle Planet.
I will say
it's
this,
just
though.
a different rule, so there's no scanning required. Is
And
what
I
I'm
guess
getting
they're
at.
technically different universe. So in this universe, that universe, there was no animals.
Is
But
there
they were.
there's a different universe?
And so that's why they got born. Animals evolved there too, but machine.
Yes. They're in
Well-
a different universe, so they need a key to get.
No, because
Megatron.
Optimus Primal is named after Optimus Prime.
Yeah, but they know they're existing.
Full
I guess
hero.
they're in a different galaxy.
Galaxy, not universe.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
But they're all Cybertrons. Anyway, that question number one, laying that one down. Number two, how come the Maximals have like fur and feathers and hair? They're robots.
Because they also transform into robots,
Actual robots.
humanoid robots.
Not like they're animal robots turning into humanoid robots.
Yeah, and that's their maximal state.
That's their fighting stage.
Again, a gun to Michelle Yeoh said, Maximals, maximize. And then they show the shittiest transformation sequence. Let me tell you, these guys need to watch like some Sailor Moon, some Voltron, shit like that. Like, where they just like glory shot the transformations in those shows. This one's when the Maximals maximize. It's like nothing. It's like
blink of an eye.
Yeah,
it's like
the camera will like scan past them as they're maximizing.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't recall seeing them transform.
Yeah, exactly, because they don't make a.
Because that would be gross. You don't want to see like a monkey come apart. A car, like shifting some wheels around is one thing, but like a chest opening.
I need to
up
see the
of a
deleted
monkey.
scenes. I'm sure there's like a workshopping like animation scene.
They were like,
I'm sure
this
they
horror
exist.
show. Don't do that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, I think the character designs in general in these, like the post-Bay or just the live action Transformers stuff we've gotten, it never sits well with me. And watching it this time around, I think the problem is the designs are too busy or something. Even these like more simplified designs, you don't connect the robots talking to the voice coming on the overhead,
Yeah.
So you just hear like, Autobots, you are needed in this sector. Come to me. But you don't really feel like, I never felt that like, oh, I'm integrated. Like this is the voice coming out of that robot for sure. And I think it is just because they're a little over designed and like not created with any sense of practicality to them, which is another thing for me is like, when I had Transformers as a kid, the whole thing is like shit, they have to work, they're practical. You shift a thing around, you move a thing up, you pop a fist out, like it's cool to play with. These
didn't matter in this one.
Yeah, it's just like it's like in a cartoon when you see a fighting and it's just like a dust cloud, and then like someone comes out and they're all beat up. It's like that's the transforming, and that's consistent through all of these movies. It's not like that's for this movie specifically, but I think the designs of the characters would have benefited if they had to actually do that
mechanics
to some way. I mean, kayfabe it a bit, but.
The part where Mirage is reversing down the bridge at a high rate of speed and decides to transform in order to turn around instead of just cutting the wheel. There's a part where like I forget the character's name, but the character is sitting in the front seat and a tire just kind of floats by his chest at one point, just like not connected to anything. It just kind of just floats and then it reforms.
It was the spare.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So it should just float in free space. Sure. You talk about over design. There was also like I still feel like Optimus Prime was more of a sketch. Like there's a point where Dylan and I were looking at the app for Regal, and there's an early showing for Transformers, and then like the regular showing. And the early showing, for some reason, the photo of Optimus Prime, which is basically the same one as the second one, it looked shittier than the normal time. And when he was talking, it just I don't know, it looked like a sketch to me.
Yeah, it's because his mouth doesn't move and he doesn't really have facial expressions.
Right, it's a robot.
Yeah.
Well, no, they do because Scourge says to Optimus Prime, what does he say? I laughed at it because he's like, the look of disappointment coming off of your face. And I was like, you can't even tell what he looks like. They're just robot faces.
Yeah.
I was like losing my mind.
I realized watching this, it's been a long time because like there was speaking of Scourge, there was a scourge of movies, probably late 90s, early 2000s, like post Matrix, where in every action scene, like something would fly at a character and then it would slow down, and then they'd have to like kind of like bend around it or whatever, and it was just so overdone. We haven't seen that in a while, so when it happened in this movie, I started laughing because I'm like, oh my god, they brought back
right.
And it occurred to me in that moment, I'm like, wow, when was the last time I saw something like that? But it was also effective.
I guess he saw it in Guardians 3 during that hallway fight.
Sure.
I think they're doing it smarter now. They're breaking it out when it's very complicated.
When you need
action.
to see some detail,
right.
you need to understand. Yeah,
I think the
it's not just like an aesthetic, like a cool, like oh wow.
Yeah, the 300 thing where they were just doing it to do it. I don't think we're seeing a lot of that, but this movie's slowdowns. I'm like, I'm cool with that. Yeah, there is a lot happening on screen right now. I watched a featurette that was on the front page of IMDb. They said that they only cast Optimus Prime, of course, because it's the same voice guy that goes back to like the 80s with Optimus Prime. And they had, I think, Peter Dinklage's Scourge was checked in. They're like, while the humans were filming it, they're like, yeah, we didn't have any idea who was going to do the voices.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like they would listen back and do like ADR and it'd be like, oh God, that sounds funny or that's interesting, which I just thought was funny. This is like a press junket. Like they're supposed to sell me on the movie. They're like, yeah, we had no idea who was going to do the voices for these guys.
So apparently Transformers movies, you just kind of start.
Yeah, I mean, it's a green screen, so it's not like, you need much to go off of. But
You said that one like didn't even have a script. You just start.
yeah, one of those Bay ones that was written when the
Last Night,
yeah, sure.
the one with the swords.
Maybe
King
it was-
Arthur's court.
Maybe it was that one, whichever one came about during the writer's strike of 2009-ish. That Transformers movie, they were like, they didn't have a script, so they just had Michael Bay's like 9-page outline. Just like started filming because it's like, I don't know, show some sand, some desert stuff.
We're gonna go over this anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So
Have the Wayans brothers ever done? They do all those parody movies like Scary Movie,
Right.
Teen Movie. Have they done one called Green Screen Movie where it's like a big blockbuster? Sounds like no.
well,
I mean, there's all those like epic movies, and that's not green.
Oh, okay.
But they're making fun of it.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Meet the Spartans has a Decepticon.
Jesus Christ.
The guy that follows Borat around plays what's it called? The Decepticon guy.
Oh.
This movie didn't have any Decepticons, right?
No, it's
Okay.
Maximals and
Okay.
Creatines.
Yep.
What is it? The bad guys.
Decepticon.
Crydons?
No.
Oh, they had a funny
Were they
They're not?
Decepticons?
the bug guys?
Krylons?
The
They had spray paint cans that transform into spray
Maximals
paint cans?
Terrorcons.
Terrorcon?
Terror.
Yeah, I wrote it down in my
Terra.
No, terror.
Terror?
Yeah, I had to look up how to spell Terrorcon. I was like, there's no fucking way they're called Terrorcons.
Isn't
like
that the festival that Phil Anselmo does in Texas?
HouseCon.
Scourge, like after he kills someone, takes their little emblem.
Yeah, what's
And
that
was
about?
there not a Decepticon one on him?
I didn't see one.
I think there was
Oh,
a
when he was
Decepticon
putting,
one on him.
I think he just kills people.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
off their little.
Yeah, he had like
I
a
think he's
Mandalorian.
killed
on
the
it.
Decepticon too.
Yeah, I mean, they're not saying Decepticons don't exist, but I still feel like these are prequeling the.
The Bay.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
because
Yeah, it's 94.
in that movie, like they meet the Decepticons and stuff. So
Also, could you tell it was 1994 in that movie?
oh geez, yeah, there's I've said this before, I think, but like watching The Lost Boys recently solidified this idea in my mind. And Lost Boys is like the 80s is the most 80s movie you've ever seen, right? It's a very 80s movie. No one would argue otherwise. But when you watch this very incredibly 80s movie, there's a lot of like fringe suede coats and like hippie-ish kind of stuff because that was happening at the time. And if you were a teenager then and you were going to the thrift stores to get clothes or just trying to get some weird shit, you would have stuff from a previous era. I don't know. I think that's...
The Doors Q is another thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that movie was dealing with some themes of like generation gaps and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It was all tied together. Great movie. Much better movie than Transformers. But, and that made me realize when people show the 80s, it never looks like the Lost Boys. It looks like, Saved by the Bell,
Yes.
like intro theme, where it's just all neon and brights and spandex and, headbands and flash dance stuff to like really drive the point home. And this movie does that in a pretty big way with 1994 stuff. It's just reference, songs, etc. It was all like
Constant,
squarely in that era. Yeah.
It didn't really look like it though.
No, and I think that's what they call compensation. Like when you have a little kid decked out in Jordan gear, it's like, hey, look, it's 1994. He's talking about Super Mario Brothers. He calls his brother Sonic, and he's Tails. And 1994. He's trying to beat Bowser on the Game Boy. This is in the 90s, people.
See, look, man. They get it. They get their audience. Children, they're coming off the heels from the Sonic movie, the Mario movie.
Mm-hmm.
Kids get it.
I mean, look, it's not like I'm not watching it thinking like groan. Oh, I guess I am kind of groaning. It's not like it. You're here for the goddamn. Yeah, you're here for the Maximals. You're not looking for a period piece, and like real immersion in the era or whatever. But it's like after your fifth, Dad Rap 101 sync. It's like, okay, we got it.
Yeah.
And it's even more frustrating because they use all the, kind of, so I know nothing about rap, so I know when I can recognize a song, I'm like, this is overplayed. if I know who this is, I know this is overdone.
It's very 101.
It's like that the whole movie, which is fine. It's like that's how you kind of establish a motif or something, right? We're playing hip hop from this era. Okay, cool. And then in the end, the final battle scene is like a new song.
I know.
Like a contemporary 2023 song. I just forgot to look up who did it.
I was gonna put this out there. They had the Judgment Night soundtrack in '92. They could have used some cuts for '94.
Right?
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no, any
A little
kind
bit
of
harder.
any digging.
I have a question for everyone in the room. 94 was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that prominent in 94?
Big time.
94.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think. Let's see here. I was in middle school at the time, and
You're a fan.
Yeah, I would say 94. It was popping. And it was like, when I say it was big, it was like big. I was watching it, even back then, I was a cynical fucking prick. And I was just like, oh, this is so funny. Like, I was watching it in like a campy kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were a kid at that time, shit was like dead serious.
All right, fair
They were
enough.
banning it from schools, and it's a real cultural concern.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, because kids were just beating the shit out of each other.
Because when I was a kid, maybe like 5 years old or 4 years old, I remember having a Power Ranger shirt, and they made me change it out. And I was like 4.
Because that's
And I
like,
didn't know why.
because they had flashbacks of fucking
Yeah.
94 when there was just fights breaking out every recess.
I always thought Power Rangers was later. Just like
That's what I said. That's why I was
I
like-
thought Wu-Tang was later too.
Right.
Oh, no, Wu-Tang made sense. But it was like Mighty Morphin 94. I was like, in 99, I was into it. How long was that reign, bro?
It was a while.
Yeah, I have zero idea.
Any other time questions for?
Authenticity
You want
questions
me to
about 94?
run back to 6th grade and get you any more intel?
Uh,
I was pissed off that he was wearing Jordan 6s in the jungle.
I noticed that.
Don't fucking
Yep.
listen. I don't wear my Jordan 6s to
listen, he
work.
didn't know
and
he was going to go to the jungle. He just had sixes on.
I just seeing him wade through the goddamn river.
Plus,
The
back then they
world
were
is gonna end.
back then they were just sneakers.
He's like, come
They
on.
were
Well,
sneakers.
I'm just saying they were on the Jordan 10 at the time.
Yeah,
Oh.
but he
And
had
if-
one shoe, They were a
and
poor
if he's-
family.
Hey, but he was like a private in the military, so he's like a little behind.
Yeah, but
You were just saying you were mad that they didn't have stuff from previous.
I know.
years.
And then when they do, it's a kind of weird, and because it wasn't like they had like retros back then, so it's like they
No.
would have been 4 years old. I don't know how intact it would be.
I will say this: they do have an out because on military bases they get all the surplus and dead stock, and you can get them years later. That's how we used to get old Jordans.
But I'm just saying, as a fan of the 6, it broke my heart to see him dragging him through the river like that. That was
Wait,
cool.
hold on, let me take these off.
Yeah.
were
I
they-
would have loved that. That
They were the
would
maroon sixes.
movie
right?
would have gone up a full point if he had the Carmine 6s above his head, like in like old Vietnam movies where they carry the rifle above their head and walk through the water. He's just got his Carmine 6s above his head.
Speaking about humans moving around in Peru, so these robots and transformers, like they can obviously cover a lot of ground quickly because they have motors and they fall at a faster rate almost. But there's a point where they're at the top of like, I don't know if it's Machu Picchu or whatever.
Oh,
the
there's a
fuck it is.
desolate mountain, not a car on it.
Giant ass mountain, and then like everything kind of tumbles to the bottom. The human lady, she was at the top of the mountain, and like 3 seconds later, she's at the bottom.
Yeah.
It would have taken you like an hour to get down even if you ran. It would have taken you.
flat.
An hour.
She's falling flat.
Yeah.
She's falling straight
She's
down.
rolling down with, like when you're a kid and you roll down the
Yeah.
hills.
Then there's the part 2 where Mirage drops his buddy, the human buddy, like probably about 3 stories, I would guess, because again the scale keeps changing, and he's fine, doesn't like break his spine or anything, but hey, whatever.
The real question is, okay, so they're in Peru, and the Terracons are chasing after the people, and like what's it
Michelle
called?
Yeoh.
Well, no,
Tell them about the Terracons.
The Autobots are on the ground, but the Terracons are just climbing over buildings, and no one seems to care.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though, like, it's like they're just giant fucking robots destroying houses and buildings.
I know. I was stressed. Like, location is so crucial, and they start in a museum, and I just like. I mean, this is just silly things in my brain, but I get so uncomfortable watching people fight around like antiquities, and it happens a lot. And I think filmmakers know it makes you uncomfortable. Like,
Sure.
the bad guy like shoots and misses and breaks some ancient Greek statue or something. So it's like first they're there, then they're in like a crowded New York City spot, and then they're in Peru, which is like a parade going on. And you're like, motherfucker, like when are they going to get to a field? By the time when they actually found themselves in an empty field, as these things should, it was like, okay, now it's on.
Yeah.
I got to feel a lot more comfortable.
Then they were ruining like ancient sites.
Okay.
True.
There's a point on the ancient site where they're trying to figure out how to get down to the chamber where the other half of the trans warp key is beneath ground. In order to get it, you have to align these like ancient stones or carvings rather within stone in a certain way. Those things have presumably been around for thousands of years, and you're telling me that no human at all in rural Peru has ever just kind of twisted them and gone, I think it would look cool if it went this way.
The people that know about it are cool. We're tight with the Maximals, so they're like, we're not gonna fuck with that.
Well, the Maximals
and the people had, respect for that site, and you can see that, like she was saying, there were like 17th century like walls around it. Like it's probably always been like a holy site.
But like
I don't
a
think people
teenager
were touching. I don't think you can like access it all the time.
But like a teenager, you know what I mean? Just being like, I'm so bored. I live in Peru. I don't have, it's
You have a
94.
Maximal to hang out with. They don't get bored.
The Maximals were hiding.
Yeah, but they know they're there. They're just chilling. And the thing wasn't even in the thing. The key wasn't even inside.
All I'm saying is
They
at
had it in
no
a blanket
point
in their house.
in thousands of years of human history has anybody gone and messed with stones that very easily turn.
maybe they did, and that's why they're like, oh, let's give the other half of the transwarp key to the
Yeah,
rural people.
that's why they were like,
because kids keep messing with this goddamn crypt that we have a very simple lock on. We really
That's true.
underestimated.
Okay, they have another out. See, this movie is airtight. This
We
movie is fucking
underestimated.
airtight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
Thanks for helping me
impenetrable.
understand that this movie is completely locked up.
And then
There
they-
are no flaws.
Then they just kept it on ground anyway in a blanket.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
What the fuck?
Like
the
fu-
best
that's like
way
to trick
is
people.
in plain sight. Like otherwise, people are gonna be like, "What's in here?" You just hand it to some guy.
Also, so if it's in the blanket, it doesn't emanate the ray that Autobots can see.
Yeah, I don't know because
I don't think they turned it on.
But they didn't turn on the other one in New York, and they could see it.
She did accidentally.
Lasers
Yeah, she
on
put
it.
the
Oh,
the
when she
beam
twisted the
around it.
guy. That's all it took.
And that's what they're like, what the fuck is happening? Oh shit.
Once again, this movie airtight, no flaws.
only the huge light blinding from the sky. Only us robots can see.
Yeah,
that.
what the fuck?
They have different eyes.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Terminator
stuff we
eyes.
can't see.
Unintentional Optimus Prime comedy is like his wipers are right where his nipples would be. I would have lost it if just like one scene, like the wipers just go. I don't know why. I'm a kid. That's why I
it.
like this movie.
How come Mirage only uses his Mirage power like twice?
To justify the name.
But it was like, because he's like, you know why they call me Mirage? And then he did it once. Well, he did it once to get away from the cops. And then when he has the fight, the main, what's his name?
Scourge.
He does it once and then he gets his ass whooped. Then he
Yeah,
never
doesn't
Mirages
doesn't
again.
treat him well because it's like, yeah, you could trick cops on the road because they're not used to seeing this shit. Robots can.
Yeah.
Hey, but the ass whipping did you think it was cool? I thought it was cool.
Oh, I mean, I thought the whole movie was cool. The fight scene, that
Sometimes
one
in particular.
specifically,
Yeah.
was pretty cool too.
Yes.
Yeah, he rubs Scourge's face into the molten lava.
So
of
cool.
And he first he dips his sword into the.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's a cool part.
But then he starts to look like Ultron, like his face once he took the mask off.
Oh, you think they were going to connect the movies?
Like, yo, no, I didn't think that. I was like, I wonder if the people that did Ultron are working on this one. They're just like, fuck it. We know how to do Ultron.
Control C, Control V.
Yeah, exactly. You think Michelle Yeoh
With a gun to her head, yes.
was like, didn't know how to scream as Air Razor?
Ah! I've been shot.
I gotta kill you. I don't try to fight it.
My maximal body is being attacked by Scourge's Deceptoblast.
Because she's glitching out.
I wish to return to
Yeah, like, all of a sudden she was
Cybertron.
like a computer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just funny. You kill me, it's fine. Michelle Yeoh.
Poor
Probably
woman.
were like, we're gonna add some effects on it later.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Nah, they
You
never
don't
did.
have to worry about
You
it.
think she recorded that in her house?
I don't know why I'm
Nah.
like Michelle Yeoh bums me out, but Ron Perlman is like, yeah, he's cool with it.
Who's Ron
he's down.
Perlman?
He's Optimus Primal.
Oh, it's
I
Primal?
was named after you, Optimus Prime, because
sure
I think you're so cool.
I think Ron Perlman is just like,
I think Ron Perlman is just out of this, has no idea what a transformer
no, I
is.
think he's just like, whatever.
I want to believe Ron Perlman
I think
is
he
just
does. As someone who was Hellboy, you gotta have some like.
I like to believe
culture.
he just wants to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about Michelle Yeoh's thing.
Actually, Ron Perlman's like he actually is up on culture for sure.
Point being, I don't think he's like, I don't think he has a shelf for these collectibles or anything.
Well, I think he just
or has
wants-
ever seen an episode of Beast Wars, but I think he's down in a way that Michelle Yeoh probably is not.
I think he just wants that free ticket to Comic-Con, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me get to Comic-Con. I used to go all the time for Sons of Anarchy, but since that's over, let me get this shit in.
I like the idea of Comic-Con being like, no, Ron Perlman, you pay like everyone else.
Come on!
You don't get to be on the guest
And you're not
list.
getting any sort of like panel or booth.
Sorry, you didn't do a movie this year. Can't help you, man.
Fine, I'll do something nerdy.
Better.
You were saying that like the other people didn't have personalities. I guess if you didn't even notice that it's him, he doesn't even have
Yeah.
one in there. Which
No.
is too bad.
Yeah.
But I don't even remember the bad guys.
Scourge?
I remember Scourge.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean his friends?
everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
How about like Scourge's completely ineffective like hatchlings?
Those are the terror cons.
Yeah, the rest of the Terracons were.
The
Well,
things
those
that
little
came off of
dogs,
little
they were
dogs
doing the most.
Oh, you mean his little bugs?
But they were terrible. You could beat them so easily.
Oh, I mean, they're dogs.
Yeah, I think they're just there for the humans to be chased, and then
They're less effective than a real dog. Like I've seen real dogs take down humans. Those things didn't take down any humans.
yeah, but I think they probably were used to like tell the Terracons where they were at.
Intel.
It was really annoying how they kept giving the dogs like important missions, like go rip the flesh from their bones. It's
There's-
like I can't. They keep killing me.
Yeah, there's two people who are underneath this tunnel here, and they're going to undo our whole empire. Send our weakest guy.
Yeah.
Send our,
Yeah, and it's
our
like
autonomous drones.
yeah, it's like a scientist and a guy that like got kicked out of the army because he wasn't good at being in the army. Like yeah, like go rip the flesh from their bones. It should be easy, right? No, it turns out it's the hardest thing to do.
So, what do you think the next movie would be like? Honestly, like, what do you think? Like, what year?
G.I. Joe.
Because, well, listen, the last one was based in '87,
Okay, in 87. This is 94.
in '94. 7 years later,
No, they do 99. It's the new millennium.
ooh, they do the countdown.
Basically, the intro to Iron Man 3. That's going to be what
Oh,
this
that'd
one
be
is.
crazy. Show Sam Witwicky as a child, Shia LaBeouf.
Were there dino? Like, what weird Transformers came out in Bumblebee?
It was just Bumblebee.
No other
With
Transmorphers?
just him?
I think, yeah, it was, if I remember correctly, it's Bumblebee and Haley Steinfeld driving around in Bumblebee. And then the bad guys are John Cena, but they're just trying to, like, capture him.
John Cena played a bad guy?
Not really. He's not like a bad guy, but
Okay.
he's like an agent that wants to capture Bumblebee.
I have my orders. I'm bringing you in, car.
Listen, Haley Steinfeld, I understand you like this car, but it is my duty to get this car in
I
lockdown.
really want this car.
Well, it's an
And Haley-
alien.
Is the
True.
fighting cool in Bumblebee?
Because they're not fighting other robots, you're saying.
Oh, fuck. Is Bumblebee the one with the cool ass opener that looks like pretty much the cartoon in real life? I can't remember which movie that is. I think it opens up with them fighting on Cybertron, and then all of a sudden Bumblebee like heads to Earth. And that's why he's by himself.
You just went solo.
Yeah. The fight was cool because that was like the only time you see
Yeah,
like
other robots.
multiple robots. Yeah.
Who's he fighting in
He's
Bumblebee?
just running away because he's just by himself.
Oh God.
So there's no fighting.
Not really. But the movie was good. I like that movie a lot.
But that said, like it sounds like you've seen almost all of them, if not all of them.
Once at least.
Did this one have the best action? If there's one with better action, I'll watch it. This one satisfied me.
One's funny.
Okay.
The opener of the 3 is funny too.
Okay, I didn't ask about funny. I said action.
I'm saying the action is funny.
See.
The one is funny because it's like, this is the first time.
Yeah.
And this is a special effect bonanza.
Cutting edge of 2007.
Is that the one? Okay, so it's Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox.
Yeah. Anyway, so the robots and the fighting in this one I would say is better. Even though I think Bumblebee is a better movie. I would say Bumblebee won this one,
Okay.
weirdly, in the power ranking. Then the opening to Transformers 3 or whenever Megan Fox.
I hate this opening part. I don't know when
It's
this...
funny because
You can't call 20 minutes
It's a short film.
part of the power
I get it.
ranking.
It's a short film.
isn't it 3 where the robots can become human? Remember that? Like,
What the fuck?
Sam Witwicky's like talking to some chick, and he's like, "I'm about to get laid" because Megan Fox is out
Shut
of the movies,
up.
and then her tongue is a robot.
Oh
that
my
could have been a nightmare. I don't remember anymore.
That could have been a nightmare.
Like a nightmare scene that he has.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like your own personal nightmare.
That is what I
Which
see.
one is the breakdancing twins?
Oh my
that 3?
God.
I think so. Dark. Racial caricature
Yeah, exactly.
was came into question often during that one, notoriously.
This one kind of had one, like the Peruvian van.
Yeah, it had enough.
Yeah, it had enough.
They
There you go.
were honoring the tradition for sure.
But I like the like World War II
Yeah,
airplane
yeah.
thing.
That guy
That's
was
the
cool.
funniest part of the movie.
Did he have a mustache?
Oh, you've never seen the other ones, huh?
If
There's
I did, I
I think the
remember.
last night is the one where the guy has a giant robot beard and it like moves around and shit. It's like, what the fuck do this guy need a beard for?
Oh, I love it.
That airplane is like coming in and then just falls down like he crash lands and then he turns into a robot man. That was really funny. And the other part when I laughed is when I don't know who the other monkey is, but in the beginning they're like fighting, and then the young monkey who's Optimus Primal, he gets told, "No, you have to go and protect this thing. I'm gonna go fight him off or hold him off." But when he introduces him, he's like, Optimus Primal.
Yeah.
That's when like I'd never heard that term before.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing in the world. Like he's gonna call him Optimus Prime. And I said maybe everyone's called that. That's something.
Like it's a ranking or
Yeah.
something.
No. Optimus Primal. It's like, wait a minute. So you guys are primal on your planet too?
Hell yeah.
That is a good, like, this is the fucking movie you paid to see. Get used to this. Acclimate yourself.
Optimus Primal made me realize that you, like, given where the state of animation is currently and green screen stuff, you could probably do a Spawn movie again and it might actually work, because the reason it made me think of it is because there's a character in Spawn called Cygor, and
Oh, yeah.
it looks just like Optimus Primal. So I don't know.
Transformers. Is there more than meets the eye? Or is it a beast boar? Standing by it. There's more to meet the eye. Again, this is I'd be lying if I said that this is like a great film, or that this is going to be like on some end of the year list of like most phenomenal anythings. But I cannot stress what a enjoyable thing it is just to have a watchable Transformers movie, not a just slogged down, overdone mess like we've seen before. This is a most improved franchise. Good job. Took you like 6 movies, but you finally got one. And thank you, Transformers and the Beasts and Optimus Primal and the gang. Good job, everyone.
It is more than meets the eye. Yeah. It's the best Transformers movie they've made since the animated one.
You haven't seen Bumblebee.
I haven't seen Bumblebee.
Dylan,
Have you seen the first 5?
Sorry.
Have you seen the
Dylan
first
now
5?
highly recommends the
I
Bumblebee.
believe I have. If
All
I
5.
have, I don't know how.
Well, I'll give you some insight. Speaking of guns against heads, I think when at some point we were behind a couple, and I was just like, you know what? It's robots fighting. How bad can it be? And like I may have like torrented it or something. Like it was during those times. I'm like, we're watching the fucking Transformers movies. I don't care. We're fucking watching Transformers. Sit down. Sit down. So yeah, I think I might have forced that on you, and then immediately I was like, "Oh, how could it be bad? Like, how could it be this bad? Like, I'm in the mood I'm in the mood to torrent the Transformers. I'm signing up for this. Let's get caught up on the Transformers." And I was like, "Oh boy, I'm sorry about that."
Yeah, those
So-
are bad.
Yeah,
Those are bad, and the Transformers themselves, their design is bad. This one, I liked it. Everybody looked pretty cool. I thought the action was good. I thought the people acting was fine. It's kind of a fun story. Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
all right.
I'd like to take a moment and talk to Hasbro Films, Mr. Bro, if you're listening. I need you to make these movies even dumber, because this is the first one that I recall enjoying because I wanted to see, as Colin pointed out, robots fight. I saw robots fight. I saw them in panoramic views fighting. It made me really happy. When you slowed stuff down, that was fantastic. However, when you had human interest stuff, I checked out because I don't like that in my robot movies. Please make them dumb. Just have them hit each other. Have a very simple, stupid plot that anybody can pick up without having to have robots talking, explaining what's going on. We don't need that. We just need them hitting and punching and slamming it into each other. And if you have to make it 82 minutes, you know what I mean, so you can still sell it overseas, that's perfectly fine. Make them dumber. Thank you for your time, Mr. Bro. I yield my time.
Mr. Hasbro, if you're still listening to that nonsensical review, go ahead, put Marky Mark back in there.
No!
Put John Cena back in there.
Yes.
Bring back Tyrese and the other military guys
Sure.
from the first couple movies. Bring them back. Let them have their Fast X, their Fast and Furious moments where they just all come back.
They're all alive.
And it's present time, so like John Cena still looks like he's in 87. No, I'm just kidding. But for realsy, I stood and I rose for the Rise of the Beast. I saluted the film.
You did.
I did. And I would say go watch it. It's really good. If you like your first 20 to 25 minutes of just being songs after song after song that you've heard of like a million times.
Dad rap classic.
Yeah, that was the crazy part. I will say it just happened like just nonstop for the first 30 minutes. Like it was like a radio that was just playing in the background. But I will say, go watch it. It's fun. Your eyes will not hurt as much as like the other Transformers, and it's good. It's fun. Family time.
This is probably a good soundtrack, right, for like kids who it's like aimed towards. Because I think I was telling you that it's like if this is for kids, they don't know what any 90s hip hop or anything is. So you're just kind of hearing it, and you maybe have heard a couple of those songs because they're popular.
Yeah.
Then you can be like, oh, this is this kind of music. And then you can get the soundtrack or something and kind of learn more about it, I guess. Because I didn't even know a lot of that stuff. I only knew like the really obvious popular ones. So I could see it being a very easy like entry and a good soundtrack to sell, kind of like the Guardians one.
If you really want to go down that path, I just happened to watch this movie from, I think, 2017 called Dope, which is like one of the Workaholics guys.
Right.
And it's like this group of kids in LA that only care about 90s hip hop. And it's a weird movie, but like it's just like chock full of it. And they do have like some deeper cuts, and it's more interesting than I think the Transformers selection.
There we go.
Also, mind you, that movie's not for children.
Yeah. And this movie will reach children.
No, making kids watch Dope.
Kandahar, directed by Rick Roman Waugh, written by Michelle LaFortune.
No, really?
I think so.
Related to Orson Fortune?
No further intel. You got Gerard Butler in it. You got Naveed Nagaba. Those are the two main guys in the movie. But it's the second film ever to be filmed entirely in Saudi Arabia from the West. Second American movie to be filmed entirely in Saudi Arabia. There you go. Factoids. Yeah, because it's I guess the movie takes place in Afghanistan, right? And it's supposed Americans leaving, and it's in the kind of the power vacuum that exists now. So it's that kind of political landscape. They got some black ops guys, of which Gerard Butler is, of course, one of them. So the first sequence in the movie is Gerard Butler and some other guy doing some kind of really subterfuge tech stuff, and essentially blowing up a Iranian or nuclear reactor facility thing. And so it's like they're showing you that they got like guys who are still black ops. They blow up the power plant, and then this guy who hires the black ops people to do stuff. He's like, do something else for me. And of course it's like, yeah, it sweetens the deal. So Gerard Butler has to go along with it. And right before that starts, they link him up with this translator guy, Mo. And basically he's found out They discover who he is as the guy who blew up the power plant. So now he is like the most wanted person among the Taliban and ISIS and everyone else, all these different kind of factions of that region are like after this guy because they want his head on a platter and they want the reward from it. So him and that Mo, the translator guy, are on the run, and there's a bunch of people after him, and that's the kind of movie that it is. And they're trying to get to Kandahar, which is where the what the British airplane people.
Yeah, that's like the only place they can get extracted because they're like, you've been burned, your cover's blown, so we can't go in and get you. You gotta just go to where this plane is already gonna be leaving from.
In Kandahar.
Yeah.
My point of bringing this up in a goofy way is that's a stupid name for a movie. It's just like the location they're trying to get to. It's so arbitrary. But I want to give a shout out to Ali Fazal. He is in the film. He's the cool villain guy. Again, there's just a bunch of people after him.
There's a lot of villains.
Yeah, so you're kind of like, who cares? Except this guy's super cool. He's all in black, rides a black motorcycle. Everyone else is riding around in like, Nissan trucks and, all the Taliban kind of trucks that you see in these kind of movies. They're all riding that. And then here's this guy in a black motorcycle just cutting through. He's a huge actor in like Bollywood kind of movies.
Oh, yeah?
He was 2014's most desirable man as voted for in the Indian version of the Times. Yeah. So he fucking kills it in this movie. He's really cool. He's like the main bad guy or whatever. Anyways, bunch of bad guys chasing them. They're on the run. I don't think I need to elaborate any further. This is a watchable movie. It's fine. It's passable. It's definitely, again, in the... I gotta come up with something new, but it's very TBS, middle of the day. It's a movie on TV. That's a real downside about going to see whatever and like kind of going out of your way to see smaller movies. It's like you'll be greatly rewarded when it's something like unique and like a standout kind of film, or you will be just so whatever to death. like man, this is just a streaming movie, or this is just a big old plate of whatever. And that's kind of what this movie is. It's got action. You're on the run. It's fine. Everything looks fine. There's that weird subplot with a journalist lady.
Yeah, that made no sense.
Okay, so it makes sense in the sense that the terrorist guys are like, who blew up our power plant? Find me someone. They're like, here's this journalist lady. They're like, all right, whatever, get us her. And they interrogate her and they take her laptop and they basically figure out that's how they out Gerard Butler, right? So it's a pivotal plot point, but you spend a lot of time with this lady in jail and like getting captured, and like a lot of emphasis is put on that. Oh, is she going to get rescued, or is this what's going to keep Gerard Butler in the game? But no, she's just like in there. And then at the end of the movie, they're like, all right, let her go. And it shows a guy letting her go for no real reason. So it's like, well, just take that lady out of the movie completely. It's quite silly. Not a loose thread, just an extraneous thread, really. Or like maybe some part that got like kind of lost on the editing floor or something like that. But yeah, not a bad movie. Just a kind of bland, whatever, run around the desert action movie. You'd agree?
Yeah, but maybe it's not like a TBS movie because it's like kind of not boring enough. There's not super boring parts.
Yeah. It
kind of moves along, and after coming off of watching Guy Ritchie's The Covenant,
right,
which if you really shorten it, has the same plot.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan, a soldier needs his
translator,
interpreter to get him to an extraction point.
Right. Yes.
But it's a very different movie. This one feels a lot more like an action movie than like a war movie.
Yeah.
Because again, you're not having like two different sides fighting each other. You have the Iranians and then the Taliban and then ISIS. And then there's somebody else too. I don't know who it is. But that was part of the problem to me. Is like, I don't know who. I'm just like, at some points you're like, okay, somebody's chasing them. That's all you need to know.
It's the Warriors, right? Where it's like the different gangs are going after them.
Yeah.
But instead of the baseball furies,
Holy
it's
shit.
ISIS.
Yeah, the plot you described is the fucking Warriors.
Right. And instead of New York, it's Afghanistan.
So sometimes you can't tell who it is, but it kind of doesn't matter because Everyone's after them.
Right.
So maybe something a little different than TBS because it's not as like pulling at your heartstrings.
Right. Well, not Hallmark.
It's not as like serious
Yeah.
as like a Shawshank or
Right.
like I could see The Covenant being on there too. This is more like, I don't know.
You mean TNT, right? TBS is very funny.
TBS and stuff. I'm just imagining it's like
Cable
it's Saturday, it's on cable. I turn on the TV, there's a movie, it's Pirates of the Caribbean. You can't tell which one. There's squid people, and then like you change it around and then you come back 20 minutes later and it's like there's some other completely different scenario they're in and it all kind of doesn't matter. So you're like, yeah, fine. It's just happening. Something is happening in the background, but you're not particularly invested. That kind of movie.
See, now that's USA.
Good. These are valid points. I'll cede your point. Kandahar. I won't even come up with something funny for this. This is a movie. I wouldn't say go out of your way to watch it if you like kind of a friend of mine. I was talking about the movie Plane with Gerard Butler. I was trying to explain it to him. He's like, "Oh, Gerard Butler's in it? Yeah, he only does trash. That's great. I'll watch this."
Wow.
And it's like if you like your dumb Gerard Butler action movies, hey, this is one. It exists, and I didn't hate it, but man, I would not go out of my way to see this one.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, watch it if it comes on and you kind of like action movies. It's weirdly I was wondering if I was gonna feel uncomfortable after a while because it's like this is an action movie. It's not like a serious war movie or anything. So in that way, it's a little insensitive to be the backdrop of an action movie.
Right. This like crazy.
Yeah,
like
like
crossroads
a real
of a
thing
culture.
that's happening presently, you know,
Right.
it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little iffy, but you know, if you're just taking it at face value, it's an action movie. I thought it was pretty good, really. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, watch it. You know, if you have the option and it's, you know, like 2 hours free or whatever. And now.
At Colin's request, I'm going to read you the Maltin entry for the first Gremlins movie.
Full context, because there's only one movie to watch this week. Of course, we're watching some stuff at home, and I got Gremlin fever right now. They got that new Gremlins cartoon, and watch the old movies, and I'm in the high pitch fever, Gremlin mania. But then in the movie, in the Gremlins 2, the Gremlins kill Leonard Maltin for doing a bad review. And I kept trying to find the bad review for the first movie. Like, what did he say about this movie that earned him a death in Gremlins 2? And you look up Leonard Maltin Gremlins, all you get is information about his cameo. So, Brent, what were these damning words that Leonard Maltin put down to earn him an iconic moment in Gremlins 2?
So first of all, he starts by giving it 2 stars, and then he says, a teenager's unusual new pet spawns a legion of vicious, violent monsters who turn picture postcard town. Oh, that's a typo on Maltin's part. He should have put, that's why they killed him. It's a typo.
There we go.
Should have put turn a picture postcard town into living hell. Comic Nightmare is a cross between Capra's It's a Wonderful Life and The Blob, full of film buff in-jokes, but negated by too vivid violence and mayhem. Cameos range from animator Chuck Jones to Robbie the Robot, but you have to look fast for executive producer Steven Spielberg. Howie Mandel is the voice of Gizmo, followed by a sequel. He must have changed this. That doesn't sound too offensive, right?
Well, so, dude, my digging around says that maybe it was like on an Entertainment Tonight segment that he had.
Oh,
and he said something maybe presumably shittier because that seems pretty middling.
That's an updated review right there.
Mm-hmm.
I could believe that. Well, again, I'm just going off of what I've heard on the internet, so don't quote me on this. But apparently, him and Joe Dante, the director of Gremlins, were like tight bros. And Joe Dante was like, bro, why did you fucking do my movie dirty like that? Wow. And it kind of like created a schism in their relationship. And him being in Gremlins 2, getting killed by Gremlins was like kind of a burying of the hatchet. And like they became friends again later on. But man, Joe Dante, not to get off course too much, I had no idea the role this guy played in my childhood.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll High School, The Howling, Small Soldiers. I loved Small Soldiers when that movie came out. The Burbs was like the big one, and Matinee. Like he's done so many
Legend.
movies that I've loved, and just never made the connection that it's the same guy. So again, going on this Gremlins revisit, I'm like, man, I am apparently a friggin' Joe Dante Mark, because two people from the Burbs do cameos in Gremlins 2, which I don't think most people would care about, because apparently the Burbs was not as big of a movie to others as it was to me. It was like a very big movie to me growing up. Like, watched it a lot.
It had like a strong presence in the video store. That's how I saw it. Pretty prominent.
Yeah, great cover. You see Tom Hanks in like a bathrobe just on the streets, all stressed out with lightning going on in the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was and that's my Gremlin man. This guy just, huge role in my life, apparently.
So he gave the first Gremlins 2 stars. Guess what he gave the one that he appears in?
5 stars.
3. So he upgraded it. Did you like the second one better than the first?
I think so.
Me too. Yeah, so I can kind of see that.
It's the first one, like that bar scene where they're all just like chomping cigars and going
So
nuts.
good.
So goddamn good. And like the second one is like almost like start there and then go build
Exactly.
up.
Yeah.
And man, so rad. Like just all these years of him not wanting to do the sequel, and
Yep.
finally comes around, all the lore behind the sequel.
It becomes that commentary on making sequels.
And even like the Clamp building, like his book is like note for note Art of the Deal, which is like, if you're not, I don't know why you would know what Trump's Art of the Deal book looks like, but if you don't, then you'll totally miss this
So funny.
rip. But I don't know how there isn't a Gremlins movie every like 2 years. It's just a way to rip on like things in pop culture and, poke fun at them, lampoon them, have these little gremlins come around and make fun of you. Like, do we run out of stuff to make fun of? Who would not want to watch Gremlins make fun of like TikTokers right now? It'd be great.
I guess that the whole like genre kind of went away.
Like silly.
Like little things running around.
Yeah. Well, they all came from the Gremlins, the
Yeah.
Ghoulies and the whatnots.
Critters.
Yeah. All, if not for the Gremlins, would not
Mr.
exist.
Bro, if you're listening, please hit up my friend Dylan. He will write a Gremlins movie for you every year, as long as you acquire the rights to the
I
Gremlins.
want to write an unlicensed Gremlins sequel.
Yeah. Somebody send us enough money to make a Gremlins movie. We'll make it.
Yeah.
Crowdfunded.
Yeah, we'll crowdfund it.
And that Key and Peele.
Oh yeah, the Key and Peele Gremlins 2 sketch. Bat Gremlin, you're in the movie.
Look it up. It is very funny.
Yes. Right, you got a game for us?
All right, popping off the back of a Gremlin, we are going to get into the topic of creature features with today's edition of Maltin. Your first movie is from 1997, and it's 105 minutes. You have only 7 actors to choose from. Your description is: entomologist creates a non-breeding insect to wipe out a plague of disease-carrying cockroaches. This works, but 3 years later, the cure is getting out of hand. The hybrids bred after all and have become giants, capable of disguising themselves as their favorite prey, people. Lively, scary sci-fi thriller becomes conventional in the last third. Until then, it's great fun. From Donald A. Wollheim's short story, followed by 2 direct-to-video sequels.
I got title in one.
Okay?
Yeah, I don't know this one.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, but I could be confusing it.
Go ahead and
But
take
it's
this one
you.
home, Justine.
It's Mimic.
We recently watched the
We watched
Mimic
all
trilogy.
3.
Colin, who's a director?
Shh, fuck, Mimic? Oh, that's Guillermo?
It is.
Okay, yeah.
Your favorite, or not your favorite.
Hey,
One of your
hey,
I think
favorites.
you were say it was Joe Dante.
no.
No, that would be incredible.
I would
Not,
you
not
could-
impossible either. Which one? What's the best Mimic? Is it Mimic 3, where they do like a rear window thing, where it's like a kid?
Yeah.
No, there's like a kid who's like in
I gotta
his,
watch that.
in his wheel.
He's,
or no,
like
it's a-
he's a bubble boy.
He's a bubble boy. He can't leave the room, and so he has to just sit and watch things. He's like, "Yo, there's mimics going on across the street," and like he has like disinfected girls come up and meet him and be like, "There's no mimics." He goes, "No,
Whoa.
look, you just missed the mimic." Yeah, it's a rear window thing. They
I'm
do
gonna
a
have
rear
to watch
window.
that then.
Mimic
Yeah.
3 is kind of tight.
Okay.
Are all good.
Who are you gonna name?
Mira Sorvino.
Of course, yeah. You've also got Jeremy Northam, Charles S. Dutton, Alexander Goodwin, Josh Brolin is notable, F. Murray Abraham, Giancarlo Giannini. So yeah, that's that one.
Giancarlo, man, you ever want to have a young man just be an animal? Name him Giancarlo.
Well,
Giancarlo Giannini.
Esposito, the guy that says that someone's trying to walk out of here on a fried chicken. And Usual Suspects, that guy's all burned up.
Oh.
They call him a fried chicken.
You call yourself Giancarlo. I'm just saying, you can probably get away with a lot in life.
Oh, he's
Probably.
the Breaking Bad guy that has the chicken place.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh, and also the
Giancarlo
Jedi-
Esposito. Yeah.
Jedi guy.
Yeah, he
Or he's
plays
not a Jedi, but-
the dark saber hoarder Moff Gideon. Yeah. We'll go a year later, 1998. You've got 11 actors to choose from. A giant lizard monster moves swiftly from the Pacific to New York Harbor and terrorizes the Big Apple. A biologist hooks up with a mystery man and his team to stop it. Giant scale, FX driven no brainer, doesn't make much sense, has shallow characters, and goes on too long, but still offers a surprising amount of fun. Followed by an animated TV series remade in 2014.
Got title in one.
I have title in one.
Um,
Go first. You said it first.
You can do 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, what?
3, 2, 1 title.
Oh, okay.
3, 2, 1.
Godzilla.
Godzilla. And now our 1. 3, 2, 1.
Matthew Broderick.
All right, to break the tie, whoever gets closest to the star rating will take this one.
Oh, Jesus. Dude.
According to Maltin,
1.
Are there half stars?
there are half
Oh,
stars.
okay.
So whoever's closest.
1.5.
Not going to be too shitty to this. This was a big movie. I could see him being political and giving it 2 stars.
I'm trying to think of another character. Ooh, does Godzilla as a character count? As an
No,
actor? No.
no.
I have I have an anecdote. When I worked in the video store, this movie was out, and there's a shitty poster. Well, not the shitty poster, but it's just like, Godzilla's eye, and it says Godzilla, and the tagline is size does matter.
Yes.
And these 2 drunk fucking couple comes in like, oh my God, we gotta get this for Bill. Size does matter. And they were just losing their fucking mind. And that's kind of when I started to dislike people like a lot. Like really realize that like, oh yeah, I could just I'm not in on this.
Wait, I think I have the lady.
Oh, hit me.
It's not Nicole Kidman, is it? It's a blonde girl. I remember that. I don't remember who the fuck it is.
Is there Jessica Parker in it, and that's where they fell in love?
Great call.
Is a pile of fish listed? Is Baby Godzilla
It
listed?
is.
Anyway, I say 1.5.
Martin would probably give it a 1 if he was being honest. I think he's being political. He'll say 2. I think you'd probably be right with that 1.5. But I'll go to 2.
You win because it's actually 2.5 in spite of him torching it.
Yeah, see, he's being political. He doesn't want to be a dickhead.
Who's the girl?
Okay, so here's who's listed. Matthew Broderick, Hank Azaria, Jean Reno, who played the professional, Maria Patillo, Harry Shearer from The Simpsons, Kevin Dunn, which is a WWF name, Michael Lerner, Vicki Lewis, Doug Savant, Arabella Field, and Bodie Elfman.
Any mention of pile of fish?
I'm searching.
Does he say that's a lot of fish in his review?
Does Godzilla 98, does that movie suck, or is there
Horrible.
now some charm to it?
No charm.
When was the last time you saw it?
1998.
Yeah, see,
That's a time capsule movie
I'm
right
gonna-
there.
I'm
dude.
not
You know,
gonna-
you know how I know it sucks? There's still dead stock Godzilla like toys.
Yeah.
Just like you
In
could
the world.
they will pay you to take them.
that movie was huge when it came
Yeah,
out.
but
as
there
far as
was a
marketing and stuff
cartoon.
goes.
There was an animated series.
I bet that animated series
Godzilla's
is
a
badass.
property. You can
Yeah, but
just keep
based on
making
that
stuff.
one, where's
What the fuck happens in the cartoon? Because that was like,
He was just a homie with the CIA or something.
well, the Men in Black cartoon is good. I'm betting the Godzilla animated series is good too. Go
Okay, the next one's from 1987. So we're going to jump back 10 years. And let's see. This one you have 10 actors to choose from. Maltin gave this, I won't say what he gave, just in case we have to break the tie. Anyway, your lead and his super SWAT team for hire are assigned by the United States to a delicate rescue mission in the South American jungle. But they soon find themselves battling a faceless, ferocious enemy that's picking them off one by one. Solid, suspenseful action film takes time getting started, but emerges a grabber, followed by a sequel.
Fuck.
I'm terrible at actor names.
Any anecdotes?
I mean, title in 1.
Yeah. Yeah, you better have one.
Yeah, I goddamn right I have 1.
All right, I'm gonna just plead the fifth.
You don't have two?
You don't have title?
I think I have title, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Because the years was throwing me off. Lots of movies like that.
I agree. I might have title in one.
I'll go title in 2.
Mhm.
Is Carl Weathers in this movie?
You're damn right he is.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie
Yeah.
is Predator. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
See,
not what I was thinking.
yeah. I thought Congo. I thought,
I thought like Anaconda.
yeah.
No, he said 80s. Never
Well,
mind.
that's what threw me off about Congo. I knew it wasn't Anaconda, but in my head, I was like, "It's Congo." No,
Listen,
it's,
we're all always thinking about Anaconda.
I was
I
like,
didn't hear the
I was like,
80s.
"Is it Operation Dumb Drop or whatever?" Dumbo.
Same era as the Godzilla movie. They would play this like loop of trailers at Hollywood Video, and so like every shift, probably 8 times, I would hear "snakes out there this big," and I would just say that to my friends, and they thought it was very amusing. Unless you were in that friend group at that time, I don't think "snakes out there this big" is the iconic line from film that maybe it was for my circle of people, but that was a forced meme, if you will.
Well, Mr. VHS man, what is the movie I'm thinking of then? Operation Dumb Drop, Gumdrop,
Operation
Drop.
Dumbo Drop is when
Dumbo Drop. That's
that
it.
says Kelsey Grammer in it, possibly, and they drop off Bill Murray, and they drop off an elephant.
No, isn't it? Who's the guy from Saw 1? The main
Carrie
agent?
Elwes.
The guy that's chasing Jigsaw.
You should not be the one,
Donald Glover.
right?
Isn't that Operation Dumbo Drop?
Operation Dumbo Drop is not what I thought. It's
No.
Danny Glover.
Okay.
Donald
Ray
Glover was an
Liotta is
accident.
in
I'm
it.
sorry. Danny
Dennis
Glover.
Leary. This is not the movie I thought it was.
Yeah, they had to drop off an elephant.
They do have to drop off.
Yeah.
Hence the name.
Your other notable was, of course, Jesse the Body Ventura.
What is my connection with Bill Murray and an elephant?
Zombieland.
Dumbo.
Larger than life.
Thank you. Bill Murray and an elephant.
Yes.
Okay.
We're back in the 90s.
Oh,
1999. You have 9 actors to choose from. Floating scientific base is crippled by an unlikely accident, and the superintelligent sharks developed by researchers ungratefully begin chasing down their creators as the base slowly sinks. Sometimes exciting combination of Jaws and Alien has some surprises, but terrible dialogue and a preposterous premise. Ronnie Cox appears unbilled.
I may have title. I have what I believe to be the title, and
Yes.
of course one.
Yep.
If it is that title.
I think the fact that you sound confident about the one,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and do a head nod.
Yeah,
here.
but it's well.
be a million different ones.
Yeah, I know. There's 2 specifically that I'm flipping and flopping between.
This one,
No pun intended.
The one you're probably thinking of and this movie go hand in hand.
Because you're saying they're in space?
Did I?
He didn't say space.
What
he
did
just
you
said it's
say?
a base.
Oh, I thought you said he's in space.
Floating scientific base is
Oh, I
crippled
thought
by
you
an
said floating
unlikely
in
accident.
space.
Sharks in space is wild.
That's why I was like, where the fuck would you take a shark in space? You're gonna
Another script work. No, the Sharknado thing ruined all that.
All right, so Colin, you got title in one.
I think we might all have title in one.
Okay.
I'm not 100% confident.
Yeah, I'm not even that comfortable with me.
I'll say this. Let's just see if we can get some action going. There is a rapper in this one.
Oh, then there's 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the same.
Yeah, the title and 2 then. But I think I'm wrong with the title.
I also think I'm wrong with the title and 2.
Justine, are you out?
If I had to guess, I could also do a title in 2.
Why don't you go first?
Well, I'll just say the title.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you want a 3, 2, 1 as a group?
Sure.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
3, 2, 1.
Deep
Blue
Blue
Sea.
Sea.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Samuel
Samuel L.
Jackson.
Jackson. 3, 2, 1.
LL
Ice.
Cool J.
Oh, I'm out.
It's
Okay.
LL Cool J.
What did you say?
I thought it was Ice Cube, but I think I got Anaconda on the brain.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I told you, everyone's got
Always
Anaconda
thinking
fever
about
right
Anaconda.
All
Very
right.
trending.
Damn, that's crazy.
What was the other shark movie from this time? Was it only Deep Blue Sea?
Keep in mind, the theme is creature features. There might be other movies that you just try to discuss now that we cover. So you don't discuss other movies right now.
Fair enough.
Dylan,
Yes.
what do you think the star rating was for this?
2. I'm giving it 2.
You're going 2?
I'm gonna say 1.
Dylan takes it 2.5.
Oh,
in spite of
again with
that
the half.
review.
He's
Yeah.
crazy.
This is mid.
Again, this is well, maybe these are like revisited numbers, but it does seem like when they're big blockbusters, he doesn't want to shit on them. And again, not that you would guess it from the cultural climate today, but this was a very popular film in its time.
1997, once again. All right, you have 8 actors to choose from. Documentary film crew adrift on the Amazon is besieged by a giant killer snake. Hokey special effects and an expositionless script detract, but there's campy fun in the form of one of the characters' dynamic snake poacher who speaks with a bad Brando-esque drawl and strangles human victims between his knees. Film makes most of beautiful Brazilian rainforest locale, yet the big serpentine climax looks strangely like deepest, darkest Arcadia. In fact, it's in the Arboretum in LA County. 8 to choose from.
I gotta watch this one again. I got title in 2.
I think I have 3.
No,
Sick.
I only have 2.
All right, hit me, Dylan.
All right, I'm gonna say I think 3.
Yep.
Anaconda, right?
Yes.
Ice Cube.
Yep.
J-Lo.
Yep.
Anthony Hopkins.
What's with Anthony?
I don't know. I
Hopkins?
just have this stupid face in my head, and all I can think is Anthony Hopkins' face.
No, I know which character you think is Anthony Hopkins. It's gonna drive you crazy when I say it.
But
There's also
if you have the other person.
No, fuck no. I got just
those were
J-Lo
the
and
two.
Cube.
Oh, those were the 2.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
there's a
Snake.
Oh, Anaconda count? Anaconda.
Do they say the snake? They say big old snake?
They did say giant killer snake in
Peter
there.
Cushing?
So, yeah. Peter Cushing. So there is a famous brother in the cast. Anybody? Does that jar anybody's?
Oh, don't.
Alec Baldwin.
No.
Marlon Wayans.
No.
It's not a Wayne's or a Baldwin.
No. It's a
And it was a 90s movie.
90s movie.
Are you sure? They were in there somewhere.
Hold on, everyone. Let's think about this real quick. Brother.
His brother.
It's a brother. There's a famous brother in this movie that has an equally, perhaps maybe even more famous brother.
Emilio Estevez.
No.
Charlie Sheen.
Same last name. Still relevant.
Still relevant.
Probably even more relevant in the OOs.
Hold on.
Yeah.
They've sometimes been in the same movie together.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson's in it.
Oh my God.
The sick pull. Yeah.
Oi.
Oi. Okay. Let's
Wait,
jump in.
wait. Guess the stars?
Okay. What do you got?
You want to reread or no?
No. God, it's the laziest answer. I'll say 2.
I'm going to say 2.5.
One of you nailed it exactly.
Oh wait, Justine, you have to go.
2.
Wait, you can't pick me. I said
2 of you named it. Nailed it exactly. It's a 2-star movie. Yeah, it's Anaconda.
Damn,
2
the one time it
stars.
was a 2.5, motherfucker.
Look at this. Okay. Let's break the tie here. Run time.
85 minutes.
Yeah. 71.
71. Okay.
Damn, an
I'd-
hour and 10.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let's get this over with.
I'd guess 105, but if I was naturally guessing, I'd say 105. But using my poker skills, I'd say 90 because you got excited when you looked at the runtime.
One of you has, nailed it. 90 minutes on the dot.
Okay.
You know me.
Yeah.
Have you hit
I
90?
see your eyes raised, but that's a fugazi guess. That was a natty.
Okay.
I have to admit when I'm not doing natty.
Okay. We're going to jump all the way back to 1982. You only have 7 actors to choose from. Remake of 1951 film about Antarctic outpost terrorized by an alien organism. More faithful to the original story, but non-stop parade of slimy, repulsive special effects turns this into a freak show and drowns most of the suspense. Prequel made in 2011. Shot in Panavision.
If he disliked this movie, I could see the rating being kind of low. If he didn't just like retroactively fix it for the
Be that catty about
fan
it.
base.
So only 7 actors to choose from. Are you 1-1 on this? Title
I
and
got
1?
one title.
Yeah, I don't even know if I have the one. Is Kurt Russell in it?
Well, that's the one.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's the one everyone knows then. That's not,
Okay, so everybody knows the movie. And
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I have a second one, but I only know his character in a different movie.
So you don't know the
know what?
actor's
Hey,
name?
Check this out. I will accept that.
Is there dog? Does it say dog?
Does it say dog in there? Does it say snake?
Say dog. It's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Kurt Russell.
Yes.
And then I don't know his name, but he plays Fox in the Warriors. And then he's
damn it.
uncredited in this film because he has beef. Yeah, he fought the director, John Carpenter.
Wait, fought?
They were like a dispute. That's why he's not credited in the movie, but he's in the movie.
That's
he's like a big deal in the film
fucking
too.
awesome.
And they just took his, he just discredited him?
Yeah.
Messed up.
I thought you were going to talk about the Oatmeal Man, who's also in this.
Oh no, I'm Fox from the Warriors.
Fox and Wars. That's a yeah.
And then he's not credited in the film.
I'm going to go ahead and give
That's the I just like doing stuff like that.
No,
That-
Fox is the guy that gets killed by the train because he's trying to protect the girl.
Oh, okay.
And then he gets kicked into the front of the train. He's just quiet. He's the guy that witnesses the Rembrandt guy killing Cyrus.
All right.
I'm going to give it to him just because I like that bit
Yeah.
of trivia.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
I like the Warriors a lot.
Wilfred Brimley is in
Oh, okay.
this. Yeah.
Oatmeal Man.
Oatmeal Man for sure.
What did he give it? Did he give it? This could be a 1 star.
3.
You say 3? If it's 3, he's kayfabing because he didn't like it when it came out.
3,
Sounds like it.
1. Dylan, you got a guess on the stars just for fun?
3.5.
3.5? 1.5.
Oh!
Ghost Colony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was not a liked movie when it came out, and it sounds like what's his name kind of shit on it too.
Last movie is going to be from 2013. You have 11 actors to choose from. Nations of the world have united to create gigantic fighting machines called Jaegers or hunters to combat kaiju, terrifying monsters who have emerged from the oceans to wreak havoc around the globe. Your lead, adrift since he lost his brother in battle, is sought out by his former commander for one last attempt to defeat the kaiju, providing he can find a suitable partner. This could turn out to be the petite but powerful Kikuchi. Not just another rock'em sock'em robot movie, but a fresh, great-looking, genuinely exciting action yarn set in a science fiction future. The director and co-writer delivers the goods. Only complaint is that it doesn't know when to quit. I disagree.
You said this was 2013?
2013.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed.
I have title in 2.
Title in 1.
Yeah, I'm title in 1. Why don't you take it?
So it's Pacific Rim
It is.
with Charlie Hunnam.
Yes.
And unfortunately, you actually said the girl's last name. Her name's Rinko Kikuchi.
Oh, I thought that was the character's
Yeah.
name. You're correct. Yeah.
And
Um.
you don't know the very obvious one?
Yeah, you got 2 that are pretty obvious.
Oh, Charlie Day.
There we go.
One more. Who's the commander?
I was trying to think about that. I don't.
Yeah, I was drawing a blank on everyone.
Idris Elba.
Ah.
You know who else? Because it's Del Toro.
Oh,
Ron Perlman in it.
Correct.
yeah. 10 out of 10 movie.
Should rewatch.
Yeah. Should watch like every year.
I agree.
What's like a stupid holiday we can pick, like Flag Day or something, where you just watch Pacific Rim.
That's coming up June 14th.
June 14th. Okay.
Yeah, new tradition. Pacific Rim, June 14th.
Every Flag Day.
Yeah. Star guess?
Like I would not guess that he rated it high, but I'm gonna say it's out of 5. Potentially.
It's out of 4. I think
Out
he
of
does
4?
yeah.
Oh, I'll say 3, just based on the how much of praise he heaps on the review.
Yeah, I'm assuming he likes Del Toro. I'd say 3 too.
No, just for fun.
Yeah, it's for fun.
4.5.
Well, out of 4.
Oh, that's out of 4. I thought it was 5.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
4.
The answer is 3. Yeah.
Dang.
Another Del Toro banger.
He
That
doesn't
part of
miss.
his review. He doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss.
It's me. What's his name? Maltin.
All I do is win, 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 win. Guillermo del Toro singing that.
Oh, that was-
He didn't catch that.
All right, Dylan, tell us what we're watching next week.
Unlimited.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Regal Movie Masters Unlimited. Gotta go fast, baby, because we're in the DCEU with The Flash, and I'm gonna speak for everyone here. We're honestly really excited for that one. Then we go into the world. What kind of world? A world full of elements. That's right, Pixar's Elements will be viewed and talked about by us. And we also got a horror comedy movie, The Blackening, which looks really fun actually. Anyways, everybody, see you at the movies. Bye.